What up, David? What's up? What's up? What's up? Now, if you don't know, man, my man David, one of our show's producers, we're getting ready to talk about something on the first topic. Let's go ahead and get it started. I'm Janae Strother. My boy Sean Spencer is coming up right after this. But, of course, we had to get to a sensitive topic, which is Dak Prescott, the number one topic of the weekend. Me and David are Cowboys fans, and unfortunately, our quarterback is now officially out for the season. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, huh, David?
It does. It really does. You never want to see it happen to anybody, especially your own team. I know I've always been highly critical of the man, but it really hurt to watch him go down. But can we say what a credit it is to his legacy in the league so far?
Yes.
Watching the responses of not only his team, but you have two very tenured head coaches in this league, been around for a long time, coming off opposite sidelines to stand over that man.
Just to be next to him.
I swear, every single player from the Cowboys sideline walked out, and the man sat there with a towel in his mouth, kept the tears out of his eyes, and rallied his troops and told all of them, like, keep going, keep playing. And the second
gotta win this
goes away, he completely broke down.
Oh, man.
But he's a leader. I will give him that. I will. He is a leader of men. And my heart definitely goes out to him. And his future is definitely up in the air right now.
Yeah,
absolutely. How do you see this playing out?
Man, I kind of am encouraged. Now, don't get me wrong. The kind of, I believe it was a dislocation on top of a fracture to the ankle bone. So it is a serious injury. But the kind of character and the kind of guy that Dak is, yes, he's able to overcome adversity no matter what. If you don't know, the man has lost his mother during a college championship. The man lost his brother this past offseason while negotiating the contract of his lifetime. He has been through a lot. And I just feel like the type of player that he is, I'm hoping that this is a Alex Smith situation. If anybody didn't know, that Alex Smith, basically his leg fell off during the game too. And yesterday he played for the first time after, I believe it was 2 years. First time in 2 years he's played. People counted him out. People said it was over. And he got on that field yesterday. So it made me feel like even though the Dak is in this situation now, it's not over. Now, I don't know if it's over with the Cowboys. I can't go ahead and predict the future. I hope not, but over. I think that Dak will work hard. They said it's going to be a 4 to 6 month recovery time, which will put around the time frame of, I think, like April. So that gives them enough time for next year to either talk about the second year of franchising or whatever. But it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't, and just like you said, I mean, there was like 25,000 fans in there, and the complete stadium was quiet. Nobody said anything. It was horrible. I mean, everybody in there was literally hurt by what happened. You felt it. You saw the play, and I think they only did a replay one time, so people aren't really seeing the replay of how close it was. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. But I'm hoping that it's going to be another situation where he can bounce back, come back better than ever, like a Cam Newton, change the game. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping for the best. But that being said, it was a very smart decision for the Cowboys on the offseason to make that smart decision with get Andy Dalton. Now, I'm not saying that Andy Dalton is some, freaking, he's going to win the Super Bowl, but he's good enough to get us close. He's good enough to get us close. He's been to the playoffs a few times. He has not won the playoffs, but he's gotten there. And I think that if we just stick with that, I think we should be all right. I mean, Nick Foles didn't win anything before he came in and after Wentz got hurt, and then he won a Super Bowl. So it's not out of the question. But with our division, I mean, anybody's up in the air. I mean, I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to be great, but anybody's up in the air in our division. NFC East is still the NFC East. Right now, we only have 2 wins, and we're in first place. So, I mean, it sucks for Dak. It sucks, that whole situation. But I am encouraged on the offseason pick that we did get Andy Dalton. At least there's somebody who's not like a rookie getting in there, not really seasoned. And look, at the very end of the game, I mean, Andy Dalton did what he needed to do to get us in position to kick that last field goal. So it's not really a horrible situation with Andy Dalton. So I'm encouraged. I actually am encouraged.
You know, for the first time in the last, however long this has been with his contract negotiations, feels like years. I want to see that contract done now. I want Jerry Jones and I want Dak to both meet at a good number. I want
Absolutely.
that man under contract. I want his family taken care of. I want him taken care of. I want the organization to recognize what he's done and the effort and the leadership that he's given to the organization. I want that locked up now. I don't want him to have to go through this recovery wondering about his future.
Absolutely.
Hope Jerry Jones does the right thing. That said, I completely agree about Andy Dalton. And whereas I wanted to see Dalton on the field, I wanted to see how that worked. I didn't want it this way. But I think that Dalton coming in will actually give us exactly what I was asking for last time I was on the show. Dak made a few early mistakes in this game.
That consistency. I know what you're talking about.
They were not running the ball. And then after that pick six, all this, we're down 14-3. And I don't know who or how or why, but they finally made the right decision and they started pounding the ball with Zeke.
Give it to Zeke.
We got back to our identity, right? I believe that with Dalton under center, that's what we will be all year.
We'll be forced to do it. We'll be forced to do it. Feed the man. Feed the man.
Exactly. And with Tony Pollard behind him, I loved the committee that we ran yesterday. In the first half, I don't think Zeke ever carried the ball more than 3 times without them putting Pollard in. They're not going to overwork him. Our offensive line is banged up. Him and Pollard, I mean, he's going to get the main carries, but Pollard is a very capable back.
Absolutely.
And
remember when Jerry Jones, when Zeke wasn't really doing good at first, and he was like, Zeke who? He was saying it for a reason because Pollard was putting in that work. Hey,
Zeke yesterday, I haven't seen him run that hard in a while. I will say that.
For number 4 for the rest of the season.
The ball, and he started looking good. But after Dak went down, they tried to pass on the very first play after Dak left the game, and Dalton got sacked. I was like, why did we not run the ball right there? And now we're, now third and long, I believe it was, and they give it to Zeke.
And he plows through everybody. He plows through everybody.
He knew that he had to carry things at that point. And that's our identity. It should be our identity. We should be a running team with the weapons we have behind whoever we put under center. Because whoever is under center is always going to have, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Oh, my goodness, that man took over that game.
The kid is balling.
He took over that game for the wide receiving corps. He looked amazing.
Gallup was showing up. Gallup started showing up.
And now we got this kid, Wilcox, who all of a sudden Dak fell in love with this kid and targeted him. I think it was like 6 times.
6 times.
Before Amari Cooper got his first target in the game. I do think we'll be okay. I honestly think that we'll make less mistakes as a football team getting back to the running game. I think Dalton will be sufficient. I think with the receiving weapons that he has, I don't see him going out there and trying to be Superman. I see him limiting mistakes, take care of the football, control the clock. I don't see. I mean, our defense looked great after we went down 14-3. I think we held them to 4 or 5 field goals in a row.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the defense.
They started showing up. They started to show up. Now, hey, I know all the people listening is getting ready to say something like, oh, it was the Giants. We know who it was. We know, but I'm just saying, and I agree with David, that we're starting the defense in that game. It was starting to make some some progress. I mean, I was feeling good about what our defense was doing. Yes, it is the Giants. Our problem, we all know, is our defense. So we got to get them better. Even if it was the Giants, I mean, we're number 31. I think the Giants are 32. I think they're last in the league as far as numbers. But
you can. This will be a good segue. I know that you and Sean have some things to talk about with divisional games today. So, divisional games can go either way. You know, look at the Seahawks during their Super Bowl
all
years,
the time. Absolutely.
and the Rams. The Rams were terrible, yet the Rams would beat the Seahawks every year. Divisional games are no joke. And
absolutely,
take into account who was their offensive coordinator. He probably knows the Dallas Cowboys better than anybody coach in the league.
Absolutely.
So, and look at the trick plays that man pulled out. Wish he was doing that when he was in Dallas, but they pulled out every stop.
I said the same thing.
That man went so deep into his bag of tricks and his playbook because he wanted that win. He wanted that bad. The organization wanted bad. So don't. Our defense against the lowly Giants yesterday, in my opinion, that was amazing to watch because the Giants played us this year. So, hats off to the defense for doing a little bit.
They showed up. They showed up when we needed them to. The thing is, like you said, they were on that final drive, Danny Jones, and we got that stop. Shout out to Jalen Smith, man. He's been balling out. He balled out yesterday. And DeMarcus Lawrence finally got a sack. Finally.
Daniel Jones was running for his life all game. All game, that man was 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and sprinting to the sideline away from 2 to 3 defenders. So, the pass rush came to play. The secondary is still just very the miscues, the miscommunications. It's
but we're working on it. And if we could take this from now. So before I get off with you, David, I got to ask this question. Do you feel that if Andy Dalton shows off this year?
No, I think I already know what you're going to say. No.
Get this to
because
the playoffs.
I told you last week, Dak is not the new Romo. Dak isn't going to lose his job
I'm just putting it out there. Is Dak going to lose his job if Andy Dalton does his job? Because it seems like that's the reoccurring theme, when you do your job. I mean, it didn't happen to Drew Brees last year when Bridgewater was lights out because Bridgewater won like 8 games in a row. As soon as Drew Brees is better, he came right back in. I'm just hoping that Dak is better when he gets better in this next offseason. There's not a conversation of Andy Dalton or Dak Prescott. I'm just hoping that's not a conversation.
I think we're in a good position either way. I think the only way that Dalton keeps the starting job is if Dak doesn't sign with us.
Sean, shut up. He's not coming to Washington. No way, no how. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen, Sean. So get out of there because when I get you on this call, I don't want to hear that.
You know what I would be scared of, though? I'm scared of Belichick. If we can't get this done, I could see Dak going to New England. And I don't want to see it. I want to see Dak stay.
Absolutely.
I want to see him play better. I want to see the game plan be more in favor of Dak's strengths and not his weaknesses. But no, I like I said, I want to see this contract get done, and I want it done now. I want his future solidified, and we'll see. That's going to be on him and Jerry, though. So
man, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. But I'm glad I got you on this thing, David, because I needed a cowboy to feel my pain for a second, to understand my cry and my tears. And just be a little worried. I am a little worried, but like you said, we got Andy Dalton. Our next couple games, we got the Cardinals coming up on Monday Night Football. We got the Eagles, the Redskins.
We got a couple divisional games coming,
and I think we got one more that's going to be harder than Cardinals, Giants, Eagles.
I can't remember.
Somebody else. But we got a couple hard games coming up, but we got to win at least 2 of those.
We've got
four.
we've got one guaranteed win though. I mean, we're going to play Washington, so.
I like how you
Speaking
slipped
of
it in there because
Washington,
we're going to
get
play
Sean in here.
Washington.
I love you guys.
We're
Thanks
play
for having
Washington.
me.
Hey, absolutely, David. Anytime. We love your expertise, man. Thank you so much, my man.
Oh, of course.
All right, man. We'll see you later.